Heading towards the classy suburb of Boreham Wood, we can visit my old school, Haberdashers Asks, an excellent establishment which still churns out star pupils, including a distinguished line of Jewish comedy talent, like Matt Lucas, Sacha Baron Cohen, and David Baddiel.
If you're a working class comic and you do toilet material, right, you get called things like earthy and Rabelaisian. But if you're a middle class comedian, you get called things like schoolboy and undergraduate. So instead, I'm going to talk about reading and how important it is to me to be able to do it while I'm having a shit.
Hello. Apparently you've got copies of all my old school reports.
Right, OK.
I've been beaten up twice in my life in London. Once for being Jewish, once for being a Pakistani. Look at that. That's me without my glasses on. I have to say, looking incredibly Indian. I'm not Indian, I'm Jewish. I always thought I did a bit better than this. I'm a bit disappointed. Drama, G, like A, B, C, D. I'm, like, so bad at acting, I got a G, which is below F. Can that be the case?
It could be.
Oh, that's a bit upsetting. Not yet working to capacity, potentially excellent. You see, that's me all over, isn't it? This is what I think of as the school, really. This is the kind of main area. It's more or less as it was when I was here. This is my first classroom.
At my school, if you had forgotten your swimming kit, they made you do it in the nuddy.
Always forgetting my PE kit, always forgetting my swimming trunks. So I imagine I was often in there naked with my tiny cock. Yes. Which old boys do you know about?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Damon Hill, but he's a bit...
You haven't mentioned me. So
because you're...
because I'm here.
You're obvious.
It's like the unspoken law.
Yeah.
When you arrive, like, just someone hand you a sheet,
kind of
so
like
these are the famous blokes.
No, but considering that all Habs boys are pretty arrogant,
Yes.
we kind of know all about, you know, the people that were like us and how we're going to be when we're older. So
I'm
we've got
not
to
sure
know
I'd
what we're
say
going to
that.
aim for.
But yes, I know what you mean. Yeah.
No, North London Habs boys, kind of full of themselves.
Yes. Well, stop saying this. But yes, you're right. No, there is a cockiness.
David Baddiel!
You can't go on stage and make people laugh unless you have a certain confidence in your ability to amuse and entertain people. I suppose if you were to sum up what you need to be a comedian, you need to be cocky and arrogant, but hopefully with a bit of charm.
Have I got a girlfriend? I do, yeah. But I'll chuck her if you like. If you like.
Habs wit was very dry and very cutting. You had to be very much on your guard because you could be attacked and you would attack others, and that was the atmosphere of the school.
One thing I've noticed about teachers is that they've always got names like Mr. Pratt or Miss Shufflebottom, right? And this is because they're the kind of people who think, oh yeah, I'll go to teaching. There's a profession in which my name will escape ridicule.
As a teacher, you had to have a sense of humour. Otherwise, you just didn't survive, because they were so quick at picking up any little mannerism. But I think you also needed to have a pretty thick skin at times.
So this is the assembly hall at Haberdashers, and we're here because this is where I did my first ever bit of comedy. I was going to go to Cambridge University, and in those days, to go to Cambridge University, you had to stay on an extra term. And we always had this thing at the school that the boys who had stayed on for that term, it was called 6S, would do a school review, and it was put on at lunchtime on this stage, and all the kids would come in, and there's lots of chairs. This has got an exam today, but there's always lots of chairs. And my memory of going to watch the school review is it was boys singing quite nice songs about how nice it was to be at Haberdashers, and, you know, and how they look forward to going home, or whatever, and jokes about doing homework. I can't remember exactly, but just, it was rubbish, and it was booed off. We changed it from being nice songs about being at Haberdashers to a series of extreme and vicious sketches about individual teachers.
For some reason, which no one can quite fathom, they had succeeded in not putting it before the school authorities to approve or disapprove. If they had have done, I think certain things would have very definitely been cut out.
It's uproar. There's, you know, a bloke with a beard on pretending to be the librarian, the Christian librarian, shagging a blow-up doll as the library assistant. That's the cameraman laughing. It's Armageddon as far as school teachers are concerned.
I suppose the school probably took its eye off that particular part of it, really, with dire consequences for some people, I think.
There were a series of attacks on the geography department, and to the sound of the Ride of the Valkyrie by Wagner, I ran around in a gown and a jockstrap.
We had me as the head of music with a great big beaky nose with, I believe, an MBE hanging off it, shouting and swearing, "Come on, you bastard, sing!" Like, really swearing violently. I didn't... Did I say, fucking hell, sing? Surely I didn't. Surely I would just have been expelled on the spot.
I think they did cross the line. It was very hard-hitting in places.
Well, I've never, ever done comedy before. I'd still say it's one of the biggest responses I've ever got in terms of storming it.
The crowd went wild at the time. Uncontrollable cheering and laughter.
They banned the Success Review forever. Here we are, 25 years later, the stage is still waiting for another school review. It hasn't happened since. So I'm sorry about that, but I think it was worth it. And it was then that I thought, I liked it. I liked getting laughs, and I thought this is quite a good job.
A short detour up the M1 brings us to Watford, home of Terry Scott, Ginger Spice and Elton John. It's most